Recording. Greetings, family, and welcome to the HO Network on YouTube. I haven't been on the air. People haven't seen my face in a while, but I'm really excited to have this next young author. I can't stop grinning because I'm so excited for her and her family. And if you noticed, yes, it is Reka Kaponay. And if anyone who's been listening to the HO Network knows that I've had a relationship with her and her family for many, many years. Her family has created Energetic Exchange, which many people know. You can go back into the HO Network archives and look at that show. But as you can see, Reka is all grown up, and she has a wonderful, wonderful website that she has created, and she is a first-time author. She's a writer. She's a completely beautiful, different person. And she is bringing to the forefront Dawn of the Guardian, which just debuted. I'm happy to have you on the show, Reka. I haven't talked to you in such a long time or been on the air with you in such a long time. Actually, this is our first time. So welcome to the HO Network on YouTube. I'm happy to see you.
Thank you so much, dear. It's great to be here and talk to you.
I cannot. This is like a little, anybody who listens to the HO Network or watches us knows that we're sitting around the campfire having a conversation, in reference to authors and things of this nature. And it's nice to sit around the campfire with you and catch up, because the last time I saw you, you were such a little girl doing your thing. And FYI, family, Reka and her family, let me just give you the 411 on them. They have been traveling the world for years. They have traveled to 31 countries. Reka speaks 3 languages. And again, Energetic Exchange talks about their energetic exchange with humanity. And Reka's new book is talking about her journeys and her dream time. And we're going to be talking about that. I can't believe that you came out with such a beautiful, I've been reading excerpts and your journey, and I'm just really excited about what you have to bring to the forefront of humanity. How does it feel to hear the name author with your name?
Oh, yeah, it's quite surreal actually, because the journey has been also a very long one since I started writing the book back in 2013. So now finally, after it's been published, it's an amazing feeling. But yeah.
I can't even, I'm grinning. I didn't even write the book, and I can't stop grinning. When I first heard about it and people were talking about it, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for your family and just the things that you're bringing to the front of humanity, because I think that it's really pertinent at this time. And it's also pertinent because of your age. You're an old soul, and the things that you're bringing forth really need to be heard by your age group, because I think that we're in a really dark place. But you know how we do. I love to chat you up and just talk it down, but I want the audience who doesn't know who Energetic Exchange is and your family and you, just tell the family about your journey and why, because your experience is very different. You literally you experience the school of life. You've traveled to 31 countries. You've met people from different cultures and spiritual cultures. How did that all come about, Reka, for you and your family? That's amazing. I wish I could get up and do that, but you guys had the courage to do that. That just blows my mind.
Well, absolutely. It began definitely with we were an average family living in the suburbs. So I was with my brother in school and my dad was working. And I think it got to a point where we weren't seeing each other almost at all. We were all very busy, and we didn't get to spend time together as a family. So so we made sort of this decision that we wanted to live like a family, and so our parents took us out of school and we became homeschooled, and my dad also he quit his job, and so we began to spend more time together in Australia. And so we had I think 2 years where we were together here in Australia, and we went on a road trip around Australia together. We went to Uluru, which is the Sacred Heart sort of Australia, with all the the incredible Aboriginal culture as well. We got to learn all about this as we were traveling, and then I think we decided that we really wanted to take our traveling sort of to the next level and also be able to go see more of the world together as a family and learn from the world as we were traveling. So that was sort of our first step when we left in 2012, and we landed in Los Angeles, and that was at the beginning of a journey, and we had no idea what was going to happen. It was very much a leap of faith into the unknown, and we had energetic exchange, of course. That was sort of our thing that we were bringing with us, our project that we wanted to promote also and share with the world. But yeah, but it was very much also a journey that we wanted to take as a family to learn and grow.
Well, I'm always, every time I talk about you and your father and your mother and your brother, first of all, I can't stop grinning when I talk about you all, because your journey as a family, I mean, for your family to have the courage, for one person, Reka, to have the courage to change their life, let alone a whole family, is mind-blowing. You guys have, again, traveled 31 countries. You speak many languages. You mingle, and the things that you learn, to have the courage to do that is very difficult for the average person.
Yeah.
Because we've been so indoctrinated by this matrix world on how to be, who to be, and what road to take, to be able to sort of kind of drop that away and to really fulfill your dreams takes a lot of courage. So I have to commend you, because that's not an easy thing for one to do and to grow up in. What has it taught you? What have you learned personally? Because you're a different person now that I'm looking at you from when I first met you. The growth is just, it glows off of you. What have you learned in your travels, Reka, about yourself and the people that you've met?
Well, I mean, traveling so much at this stage of my life has taught me many lessons that I don't think actually many people manage to experience until a little bit later in life. So I've definitely learned how to be quick on my feet, how to adapt and be flexible, how to go with the flow, and sort of being accepting and endure when things get tough, because they do get tough. And we have come across sort of quite a few hair-raising situations, as well as you do when you travel. There's not a situation where there isn't sort of this adventure that happens. But I think I've learned sort of the meaning of resilience and trust. And I think that in a world that is constantly evolving and changing, like you said, these are important life lessons that I think every young adult, every teen or young or children should be learning.
I absolutely agree. We're constantly being indoctrinated about, man, the list goes on, but trust is one of them. And as you know, I studied media at NYU, and one of the tools that they teach you in marketing and the image is literally indoctrination of consciousness. And I know that may sound metaphysical to most, but that's really what they're doing. And they start when you're very young. So you become the ambassador for certain things, and it's literally embedded in who we are. What did you, and it breaks down our whole idea of trusting the universe and sort of kind of flowing from a different place. We're always in our analytical mind. What did you learn about trust and faith? Because we talked about some of those stories, being your mother and father, in your travels. What did it teach you?
Well, absolutely. Just what you were saying before, that yes, when kids are sort of indoctrinated from such a young age, we could see this in school when we used to go. And from a young age, you're sort of pitted against your friends or your thing, and a lot of things become a competition. And so so I can understand with what you're saying there. And yeah, so it's sort of like you learn with trust and faith, you have to trust when you're traveling. With a lot of things, there's no set plan. You can't sort of plan everything out, try as hard as you might. So there's a lot of these sort of wild cards that you can't control. And trusting in just the situation, trusting in the kindness of others, trusting in just this place you're in and the people around you and what you're going to learn. It's just, you have to go with it. You have to go with the flow.
Yeah, you do have to go with the flow. And I think that when you travel and you meet people, at the core, we're all the same. We want the same things, and we all, to a certain extent, have a good heart. When you were traveling and you met with different types of people, what were the similarities that you saw? Because you went to a lot of places that were like, and I would look at some of your pictures and I'm like, good God, man, where are they? Where are they at now? You know, you were in the bush in Peru. You were like really doing your thing. What were the similarities, like deep similarities that you saw between modern people, like city people and people, because you were hanging out with a lot of elders and indigenous people, very different way of life. What are the similarities? Because, you know, I'm going to say in the media, they sort of kind of make you have this certain perception of quote unquote primitive people, which is completely false. But how are we all the same that you saw?
Oh, well, even in the highlands of Peru or the outback of Australia, there are families, and there are and they all want the same thing. They want to be happy, they want to be healthy, they want to have a good life, and they want to be together. So even in the most remote of places, you still have these same emotions and feelings that families and can connect on, and that's really what we managed to do when we're in the outback or Peru or Ecuador or anywhere around the world, is connect with these people, with these families, and really on that level there's no difference.
There's totally no difference. And you know what, when I traveled, you see that because you're dealing with real people, and you're like, wow, at the bottom core, we're all the same. We all want the same things. We all sort of kind of have, we want to be happy. We want to give love. We want to receive love. And, you know, at the basic core, regardless of race, religion, we're all the same people, at the core of our being. What is because some of your pictures are amazing. What was one of the funnest places that you guys went to and experienced and things of this nature? I know that'd be hard to pick. Question. There's a lot of them.
Yes. But I mean, in terms of exciting situations or anything like that, there's definitely something exciting we experienced everywhere. So we went ziplining in India, or living with the Incas in Peru, and going to Machu Picchu. So there was also these very incredible, exciting, I suppose, these situations. And I mean, I very much also they don't always have to be thrills or excitement for you to enjoy something, because I'm a very big fan of sort of history. So when we were traveling through England, I'm very much into this medieval history, and so there's of course not a lot of thrills in castles and ruins and things like that, but you can learn so much from them as well.
Oh, my dear, but I beg to differ, because my next question is because reading your title and looking into your writings, the spiritual aspect, and because it's so normal for you and Lolly and everybody, you don't really think twice about it. But I was like, wow, just the way that your consciousness perceives things. What was it like to be at sacred sites such as Machu Picchu, or being in ruins, because those things have imprints on them from history, since you love history? What was the spiritual feeling that you received from those places?
Well, it's almost a bit hard to describe, because in places like Machu Picchu, there are also a lot of tourists. There are also a lot of people nowadays. So yes, you can share in sort of this spiritual connection with those other people, but it has become sort of this very much of a touristic destination. So with Machu Picchu, there was absolutely the spiritual connection to nature. There was incredible, it was a very natural state, but it was also sort of being changed. It was changing. And so I think when we went up to the highlands, or the very sort of this remote community in Peru, that's when we sort of managed to have this incredible, really spiritual connection with the mountain and the people there, because we were, I think, the second real tourist that had come there. The only other foreigner that had come to that place was a photographer from National Geographic, sorry. And so we were very much seeing this raw, this untampered sort of connection with that the people had with the earth. And I think that was very beautiful. But also with places like ruins, yes, you sort of, for me, I can almost picture, and things like castles and ruins and things, you can almost picture what happened, like life before life, sort of what happened before modern day. And I think it's really amazing that you get to sort of, I feel incredibly lucky and grateful that my parents took my brother and I on this journey, because we've had some of the most incredible experiences of our childhood and memories, so many amazing memories.
Well, you hit on something that I thought to be interesting. You talk about the indigenous ruins of the earth people ruins, and how that sort of kind of changed. And I look at your title, and again, going back to your writings and readings of the dream time and so on and so forth. Did that compel you to write your book that's coming out, Dawn of the Guardian? And I have to read this little tagline that you put, because it's perfect. It says, trust is seeing the light with your heart when all your eyes can see is darkness. I find that to be quite profound, Miss Reka.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the inspiration behind the book has been our travels. So it's not a memoir of our travels, but my travels have fueled the inspiration for the book. So meeting with these indigenous cultures and traveling to these remote places has definitely impacted how I've written the book. And of course, when we traveled to Spain, to the actual location of the book in Andalusia, and met the real Foucault, of course, that was the main inspiration, meeting Foucault. And it was sort of past this bus ride, on the bus past the Rock of Gibraltar, that sort of all these experiences that we've had with people and places and the cultures and the languages sort of came together and converged. And that was when I decided, yes, I want to write a book about this.
Well, give me and the family a scenario of the book and the background of the book, so people have a better understanding. And I want you to tell it, because you tell it so well.
Well, I mean, it's a fantasy fiction adventure novel, and it explores sort of the dream time. So as you go, the dreaming. And so that is this connection between me as being this dream time traveler. That is my blog. So when we went to the outback in Australia and we met with the indigenous communities, that was sort of when I was inspired to start writing first. And so we have this theme of the dream throughout the entire book. So that is a connection that that you see throughout the whole book. And it's a fantasy fiction adventure novel that is set in the heart of Andalusia, Spain, on this medieval Moorish crossroads of Arcos de la Frontera. And this is where we meet Foucault, who is also a 2.5-year-old. He's this Patterdale Terrier. He's a dog. And he has been chosen by his master to become the Guardian, this ancient and revered role in the universe. And of course, where there is sort of the Guardian, there is also this conflict of powers that comes in from, we have dreaming, but we then have sort of the nightmare aspect coming through with, we have Dominus Tantibus. He's sort of the antagonist of the novel, and he's not evil or anything. I wouldn't call him a baddie or evil or anything. He's sort of this just misguided soul, and we see this incredible journey that Foucault goes on from overcoming his fears and learning that you can't solve conflict with violence. Nothing good will come of that.
Well, I found it very interesting that you had a doggy, because in these little mythical, these creatures that we know, because they're unconditional love. They're man's best friend. You know what I'm saying? They have no barrier of hate, no barriers or boxes of ideology or of these things. I mean, animals are the purest form of unconditional love on planet Earth. And I thought that was very interesting, Ms. Reka. Very good character. Very good character. So let me ask you. What do you think about this waking dream? Because I perceive, indigenous tradition, and many of the elders talk about, even though we're awake, this is like a walking, waking dream. And it goes back to your quote, we're literally looking at the essence of darkness. How do you compare the story in your book to reality? Because when I was reading certain things in your book, I was like, wow, that's really profound, because there are a lot of parallels. It's like almost a memoir of this life that we're sort of kind of walking through. We're sort of kind of in a very interesting dark time in history. In a way, it's a paradox.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There are a lot of parallels between reality and sort of this unreality that we perceive. There is, in the book, the dream and the earth are sort of connected, like this yin yang. They're linked. So it's like we're connected to our dreaming state, but we're also connected to this grounded state. And I suppose a lot of it comes from this sort of intuition that a lot of us have sort of forgotten how to use our intuition. And as you say, when the world is changing so much and evolving so much, I think intuition is something we're really going to have to sort of tap into again, because as we said before, from a very young age, sort of when you're indoctrinated and you're taught to compete in everything, you're sort of taught to also forget your intuition, not really listen to it anymore. So I think how you've been saying, with things that are changing so much, intuition is going to be something that we really need to listen to again.
You know, I was looking at your birth date, and you were born in 2001, correct? I thought that was so interesting because you look at the events of that year. 2 and 1 is a portal number, and a lot of children from your generation are very evolved in the way that they think, and they're showing us the way. When I look at your book and I again read your writings, it's like a little road map of where we need to be, of where we should to be, and you talk about it so naturally because you've been like that your whole life. How important is that going to be as we go towards the future? I think intuition and spiritual software and our tools really need to be activated in a hurry. Do you feel the same urgency, Reka?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that with so much that is changing today, a lot of people might not be ready, or they might be sort of thrown into the deep end if we're not able to sort of tap into this intuition, tap into this connection that we have. And so I feel that with Lolika, my brother and I, we have been connecting sort of with, now that we're here in Australia, we've been here since just before Christmas, but we've had a chance to sort of connect with a lot of children or teens that are our age. And I see that, I mean, while a lot of people might be like, oh, this is a sort of a very dark age, I think that we're going towards the light now. I don't think there's going to be sort of this end of the world scenario apocalypse that we're seeing so much in popular culture today, like in the movies and books and TV shows. I don't think that's the way we're going.
Why do you think that the media perpetuates that? I want to know what your perspective is, because I find that to be quite interesting. It's almost like this, there's actually a word for it, I can't coin it right now, but they're really going hard in on the mental indoctrination of people's consciousness, because you talked about activating your intuition, how important that's going to be. Why do you think the media goes in so hard on that with humanity?
Well, I think it's absolutely this fear. It's fear, because when you're afraid, when you're fearful, you do things that necessarily you wouldn't do as if you wouldn't do, that you naturally wouldn't do. And with fear, you're sort of able to keep a majority of people indoctrinated. You are, and fear keeps you from listening to your intuition and facing your fears. I think that was something that I wanted to really explore. I really wanted to convey in the book, and we see a lot of that in Dawn of the Guardian, with facing your fears and it is a long journey, and that's what Foucault goes through. But once he manages to face his fears, once he does, he sees what a really unlimited amount of creativity and power that he has access to. And that's another parallel that we were talking about, that I've made Foucault a dog, a main character, but very much what he feels throughout all of it is very much what a human can do as well. It's not it's human. It's human. It's like a human. Yes.
Oh, no, absolutely. Let me tell you something. I met some animals and I'm like, man, really? You're like a little person. Their consciousness is so tuned in. I mean, dogs can literally smell disease in your body. They know when something is wrong just from their sense of smell. That is a extra super cadafagilist, level of consciousness to be able to sense and to smell that within someone's body. So animals are very much, they show us what we could be. Just like the avatars on the planet, Jesus, Buddha, and all of these other things. And I think animals have that perception as well, and we sort of kind of take that for granted, things of the sea. So I thought that was really interesting. Your character was man's best friend to show us our potential in humanity. I thought that was awesome. When did you...
Thank you.
How do I say? Well, how did you really find out what type of intuitive gifts you had? When did you start? You talk a lot about your dreams and, all of these big concepts. How did your journey sort of kind of impact that and make you recognize those things and that you needed to change the way you perceive reality? I mean, you're an old soul, Reka. I don't even know how to go there with you. You're talking about all these very, very deep things, but when did you find that within yourself to be able to write this book? Because this book is very deep, Reka.
Thank you, but I think it's been an ongoing journey. I don't think there was one point where I sort of discovered this. I think it's been, as we've been traveling, not only have I learned from my parents as I've been traveling, but also from the people we've met. And this is sort of reflected back onto sort of my intuition, and I've made my own decisions, what I think, what I feel in my heart or something. So I think a lot of it has come from the people we've met and the cultures we've experienced. And so I've managed to I've sort of taken some of that and taken what I feel myself and then sort of transformed it and put it into the book.
You've done it very, very well. It makes me think about my own reality and how I think, about my fears, because we do it all the time. Sorry, don't we?
Yeah. There's a lot of So I was just saying with the book, there is this real reflection of facing your fears and also the dreaming and how it's connected.
Tell me, how is your perception on that? So, you say that dreaming and fear are connected. How do you use your dreams, and what is your perception on dreams, Reka?
Well, I mean, dreams, they do show sort of this otherworldly sort of connection to things that may not make sense at the moment, but maybe sort of hold these messages for us that we can use in day-to-day life. They may be sort of these guiders or pointers to how we can live a better life. And with fears, of course, we've done a research on this with my brother as well. With fears that we experience, the things that we feel during the day, they filter down into our dreams. And they are what we perceive, the reason why we get nightmares and those sort of things. So I think, of course, what we feel during the day is it's connected to our dreams, and so is everything we see. What we see during the day is projected into what we see at night, and when we're sleeping. So that is connected in that way.
People think fear is bad, but because I am going through a shift in my own reality, do you find that fear can be used as a tool to help you grow? Meaning that sometimes when you're backed up against the wall and you're sort of kind of forced to be in a certain mindset or be in a certain place or let go of certain things, that it teaches you your strengths and makes you stronger if you pay attention?
Yes, absolutely. With fear, you can use it to overcome so many things, and so fear isn't something that can, while it may restrict you, while it can sort of do sort of thing, you can, when you sort of, you use that, it makes you stronger. And that's what Foucault, well, in the book as well, that with fear, it doesn't, he sees it as something that could be restricted, but he uses it as something, as a learning experience instead, something that teaches him how to, and in the end sort of ultimately makes him a bigger soul, a brighter soul. And with fear, absolutely, I don't think it transforms you, and it's not something that should be sort of feared as well, that a lot of people are afraid of feeling this, and I don't think they should be, because it's something that can change you profoundly and for the better.
Oh, totally. I could completely agree. And you bring up something else. It's interesting how society forces us to sort of kind of sweep things under the rug, like our emotional faculties. So we don't really deal with those things, and we don't really grow from those things. Do you perceive that as well, that like mainstream, they really teach us to sort of kind of be well-mannered, don't have any, you have to what?
You sort of have to, a lot of it is you put on this facade of this facade of not having, of that everything is good, and that nothing, that everything is fine, and that nothing is wrong, and you sort of have to follow this down a path. And then when you do sort of open up, a lot of people, you may be met with sort of this not disgust or anything, but you sort of, it's confronting to a lot of people. And because, as you've said, we've been taught from such a very young age to pretend that everything is okay, a lot of people don't know how to deal with it, and a lot of people don't know how to offer support to someone like this that's going through something like this. And as a result, we're all sort of lost on this. We're alone, and we don't have anyone that we can really relate to on that aspect.
No, we don't. And one of the things that I love about your book too, it deals with all of these issues that are boiling up to the surface. And I'm saying this to say, because you know that I do astrology as well. It is so fascinating to me, Reka. I call you the gatekeeper, you young people who are bringing this information to humanity, because we really need to hear these things. The astrology lineups right now, and the planets and where they're aligned and going retrograde and bringing all these things up to the surface, it's mind-blowing. It is really the time for us to bring these things up to the surface and to really heal. Like, no more surface layer cleaning. And that's one of the things that I like about your book, is that it makes you reflect on these deeper themes, these deeper issues. That people sort of kind of skate over and don't really think about. And I think that your characters really confront those things, and it makes you think, and it gives you a perspective of like, wow, that's what real spiritual growth is about. It's not about running away from the fear. It's actually running into the fear and actually embracing it. Do you agree?
Yes, but absolutely, Foucault is, but it's not at the beginning, because he's not sort of this really confident character in the beginning. He does run away from these issues that, of course, like, as we all would probably, but then he grows through this journey with his family. He does have the support network. He shows his family this world. He does open up, like, as we were talking, he sort of drops the facade, and he finds that he has a supportive family. And I think a lot of people are afraid to do that as well, to drop a facade, because they're not sure of how their family or friends will receive it, when they're actually quite supportive and will be supportive, but I don't know.
Well, I believe so too. I think it could go both ways, but I think that we have to be able to take the chance, to be able to sort of kind of, we have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? We really, at this point, have nothing to lose. We have to lay all the cards out on the table and really go to a very deep, dark place. I always say it's better to embrace the darkness, to literally hug your shadow, in order to move forth. Do you have any fears? What are you afraid of, Reka?
Yeah, of course, everyone's afraid of something. Sometimes I'm afraid of sort of this separation, this thing where you are sort of afraid of being alone. So, yeah, I mean, everyone's afraid of something. And a lot of people try to pretend they're not, but, they are. And I think that's something I really tried to do with the book is there are a lot of these complex messages and sort of things that we address, but I wanted to do it. It's not like this Twilight Zone sort of way I wanted to do it is that it does address a lot of these complex things, but it does it in sort of this a little bit more lighthearted. It's this fantasy fiction adventure novel that's for, teenagers, children, but, also for adults, because with a lot of things that I remember watching something like The Simpsons or something, and when you're young, you see it as this funny show or something, you don't really get any of the messages in it, and I think that's something what Dawn of the Guardian is like. It's lighthearted and good for children as well, but it also has these messages for older people, for teenagers and those who are young adults and even elderly people. So
it's like
very diverse.
It is diverse, and it reminds me of, and do I dare say, yes, I'm going to say it, it's like the evolved version of the Harry Potter world. It really is. It's magical in nature, and it just, I don't know, because I guess I think on metaphysical terms, but I just thought the themes were so wonderful and the characters were so rich. What's your favorite character in your book?
Oh, that's hard. With a writer, I think there's something, when I was writing, I think I tried to put something from myself into each of the characters. We see someone like Fuko who is afraid to get started or afraid to sort of face his fears, and that's sort of something that I was took for myself when we were traveling, sort of this afraid of this fear of uncertainty. And then we have sort of Pepe and Renata, these twin chihuahuas, and I'm a twin, my brother, we're twins, so I drew a lot of these aspects into it. And there was one quote, it's quite hard because there was this one quote I saw from, I'm not sure, I saw it on Instagram one day, and it was something like, does the author cry when they kill off the favorite character, or do they laugh and have a cup of tea with Satan? It's something like that. And it's, so you sort of have this, I don't know, you're attached to the characters very deeply, but you also have this unattached sort of feeling where you decide what you want to do with their lives, you control what they do, and in that aspect, it's hard to pick which one would be my favorite.
Yeah, there are a lot of good ones. Have you ever seen any of your characters? You love which ones?
Yeah. No, I love each of them. I love what I've sort of created, these different, because I've drawn also inspiration from people that I know, from people that live around me, and I've sort of put them into the book. And a lot of it is also an amalgam of my imagination, but a lot of it, it's funny because there are people I know who will act something like El Jefe, who is sort of this another character in the book, and I also loved writing for someone like Erasmus, who sort of is this tormented soul of sort of, and him coming to this understanding, coming to his realization that he's very afraid of sort of feeling anything of emotion. And I think I loved writing for him and how he went on this journey of really accepting the fact and sort of feeling emotion, and he's coming to terms with it, of him actually getting this conscience. So I really enjoy writing for all the characters.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Did any of them come to see you and hang out in the Dreamtime, Reka?
Yeah, actually, I do see Fuko quite a few times. I do see Fuko a little bit in my dreams, so he's always there. He's never gone.
Wow, that's amazing. Tell me about your website, because you have your new book, Dawn of the Guardian, and then you have your website, Dreamtime Traveler. You have your dreaming blog, your camping. You have all these maps and all these beautiful pictures of where you and your family have been. So tell me a little bit about your blog. It is wonderfully put together, and the pictures are so rich. And good God, man, I looked at the list of your journey so far. I was flabbergasted. I was like, wow. Wow.
Thank you. I mean,
you can't say anything else but wow.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You have to thank my parents, because they they sort of worked to create this amazing blog. I did help with it, absolutely, but they put it together incredibly well. And yeah, I mean, writing has always, for as long as I can remember, I've loved to write and read, and writing has been a part of my life for a very long time. And so when we started traveling, I was writing to people. I was writing to people back home, these emails, these sort of travel updates that I would write to. But sort of as we traveled, as the list of friends and sort of travel family grew, it was hard to keep writing to all these different people and catching them up on sort of different aspects of these different conversations. And so when we were in Hungary, in Budapest, I was thinking, and then I came to my parents, and what I said was, I want to create this place where everyone can sort of go online and read about our adventures, but we could just put them up on this one place and everyone could go read it in their own time, in their own time. So that's how sort of this idea for Dreamtime Traveler was created. That's when Dreamtime Traveler went live. And since then, so it's a place where everyone can go and read about our adventures, about our experiences, about, with all our friends and the people we've met. So yeah, that's Dreamtime Traveler.
I love it.
Sorry, yeah. It holds sort of these stories of these different, with the Aboriginal people, they have their dreaming, their story that they go for, that they learn about. And so this is sort of my dreaming online.
Well, sweetie, I tell you, I love it. And I'm a Sagittarius, honey. Y'all know I love to travel and I can appreciate it. So like every week when it came up, I would just look at the pictures and the commentary and what people were saying. And when Energetic Exchange is up and you guys are posting pictures, I would just send so much love to you and your family and sort of kind of project myself. Oh my God, I could project myself through you all. The joy, I can't even begin to tell you the joy that I feel. And I've spoken to other people who have been watching you all percolate and what they receive from that. It's a healing within itself, because to get these many different perceptions of reality, through loving people who are giving to humanity, it's very enriching, and I love it. I can't wait to see where you guys go next. I can't believe you guys are at home so long, actually.
Yeah. No, I mean, thank you, Tia. You've always been with us through our journey, and so we're incredibly grateful to have you as our friend. And yes, I mean, we've been here in Australia since just before Christmas, so it has been a couple months now, but we are leaving mid-May, actually May 18th. And we're heading on another sort of round of adventures before we head back to Spain for sort of this, we're heading to Beijing for 10 days. So we'll be exploring a new country, China. And, that's very exciting. And then we'll be heading sort of back towards to Aguilas for, we want to sort of ramp up things with the marketing of the book, and, we want to organize a book tour that could possibly take us through the United States. So we would be talking to schools and bookstores and libraries and other young children, and maybe we'll get to see you again.
You know what? You took the words right out of my mouth. Let me tell you, I'm going to manifest it. I'm pulling it this way. And I just am so excited that you'll be coming to the United States, and I'm really hoping that you guys can talk to children in the school system about your book, because I know you're the author and you see it in one way, but me standing on the inside I don't know why people is calling me and they know that I'm on the air right now. Just ignore that. Other kids need to hear this is basically what I'm saying. And my perception of it, to me, the way that it's set and the characters are so rich and the themes that come up, I'm just like, wow. I sort of kind of, a lot of my favorite authors, and now you can be added to that favorite author list. I read things and I put it down and I sort of kind of ponder on it, and it sort of kind of opens me up. So I think that where we are right now, that it would be wonderful when you guys come to the United States if you can talk to young people in schools, colleges, I mean literally everywhere. I really love the work that you guys are doing, and I look forward to actually seeing you guys in the flesh and being able to give you guys hugs and kisses, and you guys to be able to come to my home again. Reka, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for your new book. I'm so excited for what you have created and what your family has created. And I know that there's more to come. And I'm just going to ask anyway, what is happening for the future? Because there's so many portals of goodness that's happening. I know you guys are never still. You guys are always busy little bees creating awesome things. So what's going to go down in the future now that you have your book out and your website? What's going to happen?
Well, I definitely want to sort of take Dreamtime Traveler to another level. And also, unfortunately, Dreamtime Traveler has been a little bit neglected in these past couple of months because we've been focusing so much on the book. But if you read the ending of the book, you sort of see that it's not really an end. And so I think there might be a sequel, maybe even a trilogy in the works.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. Are you going to start teaching? I have to blow up your spot, Reka, because you're doing everything. Do you think that, because you have so much knowledge about your perception of dreams and just how reality and dreams sort of kind of connect, do you think that you'll be doing any online teaching or just lecturing and things of this nature? Because I find that people are really hungry for things like that.
Wow, I never really even thought about something like that, but it's an amazing idea. But at the moment, I would just love to sort of convey or just give this message that we've been talking about sort of facing your fears and understanding your fears, and that violence is sort of this solving conflict without violence. I'd love to sort of give this out, or sort of not give it out, but to speak to other children about it, to speak to other teenagers about it. And because in this time when teenagers are going through such a sort of tumultuous time, I think it's very important to sort of have these sort of messages. And so yeah, absolutely, I definitely want to be able to go to schools and the bookstores and libraries and sort of just connect with other children my age, other kids my age.
Well, and I think that will happen. Because everyone is sharing. And family, make sure that on this video there will be a link to everything that you need to know. Sharing is caring. Make sure you look at the book, you order the book, you go to Reka's website, and you navigate around. There's so many goodies to be had. And I want to thank you, Reka, for hanging out with me around the campfire this evening and morning where you are. But tell everybody where you are and where they can find you and come hang out, because you guys are doing all your things on Facebook and Pinterest and things of this nature.
Yeah, so well, thank you so much, dear, for having me, first of all. It's been an incredible experience to talk with you, and so good to see you again. So thank you. But with all our social media, yes, so we are on Facebook. We have Dreamtime Traveler on Facebook, but we also have our personal Facebook, which is under our family name, which is Kaponay. So if you just type that in, you'll find that. I'm on Twitter as Dreamtime Traveler. I'm on Instagram as Dreamtime Traveler. I'm also on Instagram as Dawn of the Guardian. So that we sort of offer these little sneak peeks of the book on Dawn of the Guardian Instagram, these really amazing illustrations that our illustrator, who's also my godmother, did. She's an amazing graphic designer. So we also have that. I'm also on, what else? There's the website, of course, of dreamtimetraveler.com, and we have dawnoftheguardian.com, and both of them sort of they have our information and everything on there. So we'd love to hear from anyone out there. We'd love to sort of have these connections with other people as well. So feel free to write to us. We definitely want to hear from everyone else out there.
Yes, please do, family. Make sure that you connect with Reka and Lolly and everyone, and you check out Dawn of the Guardian. I'm so proud of you. You know how I get. I'm emotional. I don't care. I'm so proud of you and what you're doing. And I just feel like humanity has really been gifted. Whenever we have someone such as yourself your generation coming forth with such knowledge and just your perception on reality. I really believe that that's a gift, and we really, really need to pay attention. And honey, I can't wait till you write the next 20 books. Oh, whoops. Did I say that? Yes, I did. so, so thank you, Reka, so much. And I
Thank you
send you
so
so
much.
much love. And I can't wait to see you, my
Us too.
darling. Hopefully we'll
Us
see
too.
each
We
other
can't wait.
soon. I can't
Yes.
wait.
Yes.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much, Mama. Thank you,
Thank you so much for
everybody.
having me. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, dear. Bye.
Bye.